right, so our next topic today is going to be the DC Fandome event announcement. So it's essentially going to be, Rick, I don't know how much you had to look into it, but this DC Fandom event that they announced is going to essentially be a like mini like virtual Comic-Con, right? So, and I'm wondering, I have some questions about it more so than anything. A lot of news hasn't came out for it yet at this time. But I have a couple, I don't know, qu- quandaries, if you will, with it. Mainly just because, like, I'm wondering if this is going to be like, is this just a direct result of the pandemic? And because Comic Con itself, like San Diego Comic Con, which is where typically this event would have been held, right? This DC would have just done everything that essentially that they're going to be doing now. Um, they would have just been doing this at San Diego Comic Con. So I'm wondering if, and I'd like to get your thoughts on this here in just a little bit, if you think this is going to be more of a mainstay. Like, is this going to be something that DC and maybe other studios are going to do going forward, where they're just going to hold their own events like this? Like, kind of like Star Wars does just their own event. Disney does D23. Um, and it's just they market all of their own properties. And I'm curious about that and like what kind of ramifications it would have if they were to do that, the ramifications it would have on San Diego Comic Con. And like because I would personally I would like them to do this kind of thing every year. I think this would be great. But at the same time, I don't think it would ever be able to replace the experience of actually, like, if you're lucky enough to be in Hall H at San Diego Comic Con for a DC or Marvel panel or any panel that you're excited for. I don't think obviously none of these virtual events would ever be able to replace that. So as much as I like that they're doing it, especially in light of San Diego Comic Con being canceled. I wonder how obviously, like, I wonder how it's all gonna be set up, and I also just I'm really curious if it's gonna be something going forward, like a permanent mainstay. Because 'cause I've said for years, Rick, and I don't know about you, but I've said for years that, like, none of these studios, none of them really need to go to Comic-Con.
No.
Like, it's a very big it's a big endeavor for these studios to actually get to Comic-Con because a lot of the times these films are maybe they're in the middle of production. And I feel like I'll get more into that in a minute, but that's probably the best case scenario for these studios and actually getting the talent out to Comic-Con. But a lot of the times, which this just makes it even harder, is that these films have already completed production and these actors could be potentially working on a completely different movie with a completely different studio. So DC, like let's say Robert Pattinson has finished filming the Batman, right? So they're gonna have a panel for the Batman, or they
Yeah.
want to have a panel for the Batman at San Diego Comic Con because marketing. But if Robert Pattinson has started work on another film with a different studio, he might be unable to attend. It's just a
Yeah.
simple fact,
It's a
and
lot of organizing.
it is, and it's like people have gone on record stating just like how difficult it is, especially for the bigger cast, like getting the Avengers. Okay,
Oh, man.
even pre like Endgame where there's, all 40 characters in the Marvel universe are in that movie. Like even just doing a panel with just the core Avengers cast. I mean, that's like what, 6, 7 people all with jobs and lives that
Yeah. That you can just hope can make it out to San Diego and
right for like, an hour long panel,
yeah.
and it's like so I like I said, I've said for years that like really I could see like these studios just not doing it. Because I think when it comes down to it too, you don't get much out of it other than publicity, right?
Yeah.
You go there, you do the panel. It's great for everybody who's there. I think there's only I forget what the exact capacity of Hall H is, for instance. And Hall H is where like the big panels are done. So if you
Yeah.
ever see, you know, on YouTube or anything like these post events where you have all the Avengers out on the stage and the fans often get to do like Q&As and things like that. That's just done in one convention room.
Hall
Yeah,
H.
and it's called Hall H. But I think there's only like I don't know, it's like 1 to 6,000 people I think can fit into it, and there's like there's a lot more than actually attend Comic-Con, we'll say. All right, so San Diego Comic-Con itself, the San Diego Convention Center has been for years now just way too small to handle the event anymore. Just
Oh
with the
yeah.
amount of people who actually attend Comic-Con and want to attend Comic-Con, it's incredibly expensive just for regular people like you and I to even attempt to go there because the inflation that happens for just getting a hotel room
Oh,
is
yes.
insane. So, like, not only you gotta pay, like, a ton of money to get into Comic Con itself, but you're paying just a metric F ton of money if you wanna get a
Trick F
hotel.
ton.
If you wanna get a hotel or anything close to the convention center, you I hope you
It
have the money.
I was gonna say it
Like,
doesn't seem inexpensive by any means, and, like, anything and everything there even that you purchase or do this or that, I mean, I'm sure they try to milk every penny out of
oh, yeah,
people.
everything is just incredibly expensive. It's
Yeah,
incredibly expensive.
and it gets bigger every year, so like you said, capacity-wise, like, it's only
Mhm.
becoming more and more difficult.
No, exactly, and I mean, even just never mind how difficult it is for the studios to get everybody together and the amount of people that are there, just like fans and everybody attending. Like literally there is more and more like comic book related material coming out on a regular basis
Yeah,
than there has ever been before. So not only is it like super crowded in the convention center for fans, but it's super crowded as far as presentations go anymore.
I
Like
can imagine.
I mean it's big enough for something like DC to have its own convention, like they're doing right now, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Star Wars has its own convention. Like, and Star Wars is probably the smallest because there's normally they got, like, 1 movie coming out, maybe they're talking about a couple books,
Yeah,
who
yeah,
knows? But, like, D23, Disney has they have enough content coming out just themselves to have their own convention.
yeah,
So, there's just so many moving parts with getting all these, studios and the actors and everybody out there just to show a trailer to something and maybe do a Q&A session.
yeah, just answer some questions.
Yeah, and, like, the thing that, like, I don't know, just kinda really dawned on me, well, not really dawned on me, just, like, so you're in Hall H, you go through all the stuff, you get there, you see the trailer, and the only thing that you really get out of it in the end is you got to see it first in the convention center with everybody
Yeah,
because 9 times out of 10 anymore, anything that they show in Hall H is uploaded to YouTube, like, 5 minutes later.
yeah, yeah, I've
So,
seen it
like,
all.
you go through all the hassle of doing everything, and it's great, and it's a great experience if you're actually there. Like I said, nothing will ever take away from the experience of actually being there at Hall H. Like, like when Loki, when Tom Hiddleston came out, did you see that, like, from years ago when Tom Hiddleston came out in his full Loki garb and was, like, addressing the fans as if
Yeah,
he
as
was
Loki.
Loki and like, you can't, like watching that on YouTube is great, but, like, nothing will ever take away from that experience, and, like, those people there, they got to experience that.
Like Loki in the flesh.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just, like, a lot of fun. So, like, and a lot of times too, like, a lot of the actors, I gotta say, like, some of them are, like, really happy to be there. It's also, like, just a hassle for other people to be there. So, like, it's always great when, like, Tom Hiddleston, like, he put a lot of, like, he had fun, right? He
Yeah,
had fun
he
with it,
enjoyed
and,
it.
like, yeah, and I mean, I remember, like, Ezra Miller was, like, the Flash, in the Justice League and everything. When they were doing Comic-Con for Justice League, he was dressed up and, like, walking the floor himself, and, like, you didn't know who he was because he was wearing a mask and everything, but, like,
Yeah,
some people have more fun with it than other people do,
yeah.
and that's not kinda just something that obviously comes with it by any means, but as far as a DC Fandom event, like, I'm excited for it because everybody will get to see it. Like, it's free, which is great. Like, they're doing it for free. So everybody's just gonna have it just be able to access it and watch it at any point in time. They said it's gonna essentially have, like, I don't know, like, these virtual rooms that you can go in. So, like, you're gonna be able to, like, if you wanna watch the kids stuff, you can go and click on the kids stuff, and then they'll just kinda have things happening, I guess. So I think it's gonna be like, you go to the web page, they're gonna have the event going on, like, maybe, the Stargirl panels going on, so if you clicked on the DC TV, you just see whatever's happening there, and I like that setup and everything, like, seems nice. One thing I do hope, though, Rick, is that you can kinda pick and choose, You know what I mean? Like, because I yeah, we able to watch it all live, right? But, like, I'm
Yeah,
I'm I'm hoping they have, like, a catalog of things that have already happened so you can, like,
go back and
if
like
yeah, if you missed it, you could just go back and watch it. I
you
don't
don't
know.
have to see it live.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know if they're gonna have that sort of, like, infrastructure in place, for and during the event,
you'd think they would.
but, yeah, it'd be a lot of work depending on the traffic. I mean, I can't imagine the servers would be handling it too well. But, I mean, I would assume, like, just like the trailers that get released at Comic-Con, I'm sure everything will come up on YouTube about 5 minutes after it's, been made its debut during
Yeah.
the DC Fandome event. Fandome. Is there anything like you're excited to see at the fandom event though? Because I know like this here on EW.com. This is where I'm getting this article here, but like they've made more announcements of things that are going to be there. Like they're going to have Lucifer there. They're going to have Wonder Woman 84 there, which I talked about in the video before. Like Wonder Woman's coming out like a month or two after this, so like at best we're going to get our final trailer. I would
Yeah,
imagine for
yeah.
that. I don't really know how much they're gonna be able to show, if anything, from the Snyder cut. I mean,
You'd
who
think they
kn
would, I mean,
yeah, but I mean, it just depends on how much they've been able to actually work on it. I mean, they
yeah.
just technically, officially began, the post-production work that has needed to be done on it, and I don't know, I don't know how realistic it would be for the same with, like, the Batman, right? Like, how much do they actually have to show?
Yeah.
Like,
That's what I was gonna say I'm excited for is anything having to do with the Batman, but I think the whole idea of, like, a publisher like DC doing their own thing is actually, like you said, I think it's better because, like you said, Star Wars has it, there's all kinds of different conventions out there for one specific thing, and I think that would allow them to concentrate a little better on the content as well because it's not just so thrown together or anything,
right.
um, but, yeah, there should be some good stuff, I think.
No, yeah, like, absolutely, and, like, so, like, and this is how, like, the virtual room, I guess, is gonna be, like, set up, so you just kinda, like I'm curious to see how it's all set up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm definitely excited for it, and, I mean, DC, like we said, they definitely have enough stuff to where they could hold their own event. They could do this themselves every year, and
Yes,
that's
yeah.
the one thing I'm really curious to see is if this is this gonna be a mainstay and if it's gonna cause DC to, like, because that's the thing too, you gotta think, if this is, like, super successful, why would they go through the effort of doing the Comic Con thing anymore?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know? Like, and that's the thing, like, it's kind of a bummer for Comic Con
Well,
because,
they're, like, losing it.
yeah, they would miss out on all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure they'd still have some presence there, like, especially for probably the smaller stuff, though, really.
You'd think they'd have to.
I feel like what would end up happening is that, I mean, coordination aside, like, if Comic Con was gonna come out, in July or whatever, like it usually does, if they did this event, you know, before or after, they could have completely different things to show versus what they could in July, right? Like if they were
Yeah.
to do this in December, they might have more stuff to show from like maybe something they didn't announce, right? But they might end up like one negative thing that could happen is maybe they hold off on like a big major thing, like the Batman, for instance, they do on their own platform, and
Yeah,
maybe they
yeah.
send the CW stuff. Like nothing against the CW stuff by any means, but like it's obviously not as big as the Batman movies and
Yeah.
the Justice League movies and things like that. So maybe they like kind of focus their efforts for like smaller things at Comic Con if it's maybe a little easier for them to I don't know coordinate schedules and do some things with that. I don't know. I don't know. I'm definitely excited for it. I don't know. Is there anything you're wanting to see out of it though, other than like Batman? Because I know they're also going to be having like Shazam's going to have some sort of
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what we don't know yet, but they just said like Shazam's going to be involved. I think they mentioned Black Adam, and then
The Suicide Squad will be interesting.
yeah, and that was one thing too. And I made a video about this before when this first came announced. I kind of fell asleep on Suicide Squad. I
Yeah,
completely forgot all about like, it just slipped my mind. I didn't forget about it. I've been excited for it because they got James Gunn to come in and do it,
that'll be good.
which is yeah, I mean, James Gunn just I mean, his work on Guardians alone just
Oh, he
kinda
killed
goes
it.
to show you that,
Yeah.
like, he is a perfect choice for an ensemble movie, like, and I could just he's got a great aesthetic for it. Like I know
Oh, yeah.
so the kind of butchering that they did with the original Suicide Squad movie,
Oh,
was
gosh.
I almost didn't even expect there to be a sequel to it.
Is it
Yeah,
a sequel?
yeah, it's supposed to be a sequel, not a reboot. Because I mean, they
Interesting.
have, and I know a lot of people are confused about that, but
I was.
well, yeah, but they have like Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn is back in the movie,
Yeah.
like so.
So it's not totally different character.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know what kind of liberties they gave him because I'm sure Warner Brothers was just like, "Go have fun. Anything you want to do, James,
Yeah.
you do it." Because that's what essentially Kevin Feige let him do over at Marvel with Guardians of the Galaxy, and those turned out pretty good.
I thought they were great.
Yeah, those turned out pretty good. They're I guess side note, those are probably those are probably some of my least favorite. Not that they're not good,
Yeah.
but like people were like I don't know, people just love that first Guardians movie, and they think some people think it's like the best of the Marvel movies.
Nah,
I feel
I
like
don't know
those
about
people
that.
haven't watched like Winter Soldier, but
You and Winter Soldier, man.
dude, it's a great movie.
You love that Winter Soldier.
Dude, Winter Soldier is dude, it's like the best one, all right? Because it's not just a comic book movie, you
Yeah.
know? It is a political thriller at its
Political
core.
thriller.
And, I don't know, just all the fight scenes and just way I don't know, it was
Yeah.
great. Great movie. But anyway, I'm also excited to, I'm very excited to, potentially see some actual movement on, Black Adam
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I actually am I really love Shazam, and, you haven't seen Shazam, right?
I have not.
You need to watch Shazam. You need to watch Shazam.
Black Adam's gonna be super.
But
Like,
I'm excited for yeah, Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
I was just about to ask that. Is that, like, confirmed now officially?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he was cast to play it like 9 years ago or something. Like it's
I think he'd be great.
they've made like I mean the good news is with that movie is they may have made like very little progress on it over the course of the announcement that
Yeah.
Dwayne was going to be playing Black Adam and everything, but they at least haven't had as much development problems as like the Flash movie has to where I mean, they've gone through like 5 directors right now, and that movie was supposed to come it was, like, slated to come out in 2018, if I remember
It's
correctly,
cursed.
so, like, I mean, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm hoping we get some more news about, Black Adam and Shazam, and they did mention that, they mentioned Shazam and everything on here. So, I don't like I said, I'm not really sure what kind of footage or anything that they could possibly show us. Just for a lot of the stuff, because like, they haven't
Yeah.
even began production on, Black Adam or
No.
Shazam 2 or anything like that, and, like, with the pandemic, the Batman had to stop filming because 'cause I'm sure we probably would have got a good teaser
Oh, yeah,
of
yeah,
Batman.
by now.
Yeah, well, for Comic-Con,
Yeah.
because Comic-Con would have been happening next month
Yeah.
had, none of this happened, had not get canceled and whatever, and then Batman would have been filming. I mean, they missed, like, 3 months of production at this point, so, like,
Pandemic was nuts.
they would have easily been able to at least throw together a sizzle reel, if not a teaser trailer.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm kind of expecting, if anything, to see maybe definitely not like a teaser or anything from the Batman, but I would expect maybe some official like pictures of like the Riddler,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Penguin, so maybe more I would say maybe a sizzle reel of some kind, just like maybe a behind the scenes kind of sizzle reel.
Yeah,
Because I
just
like I said, I just
production.
doubt they're gonna have anything that they could have done any sort of post production on
Yeah, yeah, to where it's,
to
like,
actually
trailer worthy.
yeah, to actually show anybody at all. Like even for like a sizzle reel, like, I don't think they would even. I mean, who knows though? Everyone's been working from home, so maybe like throughout all this time, if they've had all this whole event planned out, maybe they could have had Matt Reeves just like work on a sizzle reel or something, put some production
Put
time
it
into it.
together.
Just get
Yeah.
us something, get us something to show. So I don't know. I'm excited for it, and I definitely anything. I really love the Lucifer show, so I don't know if you've ever seen that,
No, but I've actually wanted to. I thought that was a really cool concept for a show.
dude. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's kind of as far as the show goes, it's like it can kind of suffer. Sorry, it can kind of suffer at times because it goes through like a kind of police procedural to where like it's like crime of the week kind of thing,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then the overarching like plot though is like the supernatural stuff with the Lucifer character, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, he goes out, he helps the detective person do like solve a crime, and then throughout, the
Nice
episodes, you
guy.
learn more about the stuff, right?
Yeah.
But the thing that makes the show is the guy who plays him, Tom Ellis, as Lucifer. He
Mhm.
just he kills it, dude. Like
Yeah.
he
I've seen
makes it,
trailers
yeah, he
and
makes
yeah.
it worth watching. Like it's a great show.
Sounds like he's a pretty nice guy for the most part, Lucifer.
You know what? This one's a pretty good guy. You know what I mean?
Helpful.
Do you know what? He's misunderstood, dude.
Yeah, of
You know
course.
what I mean? People forget that Lucy here was an angel himself, okay?
Yeah,
People
fallen
forget that.
angel.
Yeah, like, and in the show, he was kinda I mean, in I guess the Christian lore or whatever lore you wanna take from it, he was forced upon being the king of hell, you know? It's always been like a curse, right? More so than anything because he rose against the heavens or whatnot. It's the same concept here.
Yeah.
Like it was something he was forced to do. He doesn't like doing it, you know?
No, and I'm surprised there's not more controversy around that show with it being called Lucifer. I mean, but it's been pretty popular.
And it's really popular. I mean, if Fox canceled it, then Netflix picked it up to do one last season,
Yeah.
which turned into like 3 seasons because it was so popular on Netflix.
Yeah.
Like, so which is great because I mean, like I said, it's a great show. I can't recommend it enough. Go watch Lucifer. So, I don't know, but that pretty much covers it for all we had on the DC Fandome event. So, I don't know. Like I said, there's not a lot of news out yet, but just let us know in the comment section below what you are hoping to see at the fandom event. Is it a Batman trailer? Is it more, Shazam stuff? Is it more comic book related things? And do you think this will be more of a mainstay? Do you think this is going to be something that more studios like Marvel and whatnot are going to be actually doing going forward, where they're hosting their own events as opposed to maybe putting as much effort into getting everything together for San Diego Comic Con? Whatever it is, let us know in the comments section below.